Hello KELP listeners, I am Adrian the New Guy, aka MacDaddy Del Norte, here at the KELP studios in El Paso. Today, we're excited to bring a familiar voice from your morning commute into the spotlight. Join me as we put a face to the voice behind the scenes, our Director of Operations and morning host, producer, Clark Peters.
Well, thank you, Adrian. Or should I say, the new guy. A little bit about me. Well, 29 years ago, as of the 1st of November, I came out to pastor a church and was at the church about 4.5 years, went into community work, and when the funding ran out for that, I was looking for work, and the worker here at the station asked me if I wanted to come in and interview, and so I did, and Arnie hired me. And I started out as a part-time guy, which lasted about 3 weeks, and ended up being full-time, and here I am, 19 years later.
How did you get into radio?
It's interesting, when we first moved here, I was in a pastor's group, and every time we would meet, somebody would come up to me and ask, "Are you in radio?" And I went, "No, why?" He says, "Well, you have a voice for radio." And I said, "Well, the reason I'm not in radio is nobody ever asked." Well, when it came to the point of the station needed somebody part-time, at least thinking it was part-time originally, I got asked, and that's how I ended up in radio.
What do you enjoy most about your role at the radio station?
I think the biggest thing is the camaraderie that we have. We're a family here. You're a new guy, and yet you're fitting into the family. Andy and with the ownership change is new, so we've just we've added to the family, and they've taken a little bit from the family as well. But we're a family here, especially with Andy around. We have a lot of fun. And it's just a good time. And the second thing is the trading post. I like doing that because it's a it's contact part. And so those are probably my two favorite parts of being here at the station.
What are some of the key tasks you handle as a radio producer?
As the producer, I import virtually 99% of the daily week time programs. The other two guys do the weekends, and that's just a daily thing, importing programs to play for that day, some I put into a folder for the future airing, and so that's the big thing, making sure that programs are playing on time, making sure that they're playing, for one thing, reacting when equipment goes down or something like that, and so that's part of my job, whether it's during my shift or after shift, because being the director, I'm on call for problems pretty much 24/7.
Was being in radio something you desired in your early years?
A career in radio was not even in the background of my mind as I was coming up. I initially wanted to be a music teacher, ended up getting married, having kids, and that kind of set the wish for teaching aside. So radio wasn't even on the radar, so to speak.
How do listeners participate in Trading Post, and what's your role in managing the conversations?
Trading Post. Trading Post is a call-in program that we have on Saturdays at 9 o'clock, and it's about an hour long. And people will call in and tell the what I call the Trading Post family, if they're looking to buy something, sell something, maybe they want to trade something, or in some instances they just want to give it away. And then also we've added that if they're affiliated with a nonprofit organization or a church, to let the family know about the services that are available. But basically, they just call our regular number, the 915-779-0016, which I've said probably several million times by now. And if they go on the air, then we just have a little conversation. The best part about the Trading Post is the conversation.
To my understanding, the radio stations around the country have this alert system. Can you tell me more about that?
It's the emergency alert system. It's run obviously by the FCC, and they do a weekly test where they send there's a little script that goes along with it, and it's preceded and proceeded by the tones that you'll hear. If there's an emergency, whether it's a weather emergency or like an Amber Alert or a senior alert, something of that sort, they will send that to us, and then we broadcast it over the air, and it overrides whatever is playing on the station at the time, so that information gets out.
Is there anything you would like to tell your listeners?
First of all, thank you for listening. If you weren't listening, I wouldn't have anything to talk about or any programs to play. So again, thank you. For those of you that are investing in the ministry of Cornerstone Broadcasting here at KELP Radio, we appreciate that. And we know that your rewards on this earth, they're not really great, but they are definitely heavenly. So we do appreciate all that you do and all that you care. And mostly, thank you for your prayers.